Hey everybody! In today's tutorial I want to show you a very simple Reinker background that you can use to make beautiful all occasions cards, and also to encourage you that while you have your supplies out, this is a great way to make a large number of cards very quickly. I'm using the Thankful Forest Friends stamp set from the upcoming holiday mini catalog. I love this big thankful greeting. And I have just a stack of hot press watercolor paper, and I'm going to do a very simple and easy technique. I think that Reinkers are underappreciated when it comes to watercolor. The great thing about them is they're coordinated with your ink pads and your cardstock already, and so they're a great design tool for you. I love all watercolor mediums, but the very first ones that I ever used were Reinkers, and I still love their saturated color and just their versatility. It's sort of like the quick and easy go-to watercolor for me. I've never bought an ink pad without buying the Reinkers. I've just been in that habit ever since I had my first experience with Stampin' Up! And so I always have them on hand, and they're always easy to grab. I love them. So what I'm doing is I'm just spritzing the pieces of watercolor paper with water, just so that the Reinker moves around a little bit when I touch the paintbrush to it. And each one of these is going to be a little bit different, which is the beauty of them. No two people will get the same thank you card from me this month. Now, if the color sticks, you can always spritz it after you've painted as well. And if you do several at a time, just line them up on your mat, it's very easy to get a lot of them done very quickly. I am making thank you cards for the people who have purchased my online classes, and I wanted something that really had a lot of punch in the background, that caught their eye maybe when they opened the mail. And so I'm going with what I call my Bollywood colors. These colors remind me of the beautiful clothes that the Bollywood actors and actresses wear. And I'm always drawn to the clothing that uses a hot pink and a bright orange together. I don't know what I love about that combo, but I love it. So I chose Melon Mambo and Pumpkin Pie. And I think that they give a fun and happy look to a thank you card. Now I'm going to speed this up a little bit to do the rest of the cards, but you are actually going to see me do 26 cards. I think it's 26. It's 20-something. I know that. And I want you to know that the process of painting the panels for the 20-something cards in real time, with no editing, start to finish, took 10 minutes. And this is why I want to talk about making multiples once you have your supplies out. If you've already cleaned your desk, which probably takes longer than making the cards, and you've already got the supplies out, you should just get ahead on life and crank out a bunch of them, because even though when you say to yourself, I'm going to make 25 cards, it seems like that's going to take all day, the whole process for everything that you're going to see in this video took 27 minutes from start to finish. So it's really only about a minute per card if you use, some of the things that I'm showing you here. Line up 3 and paint 3 at the same time. And you can still deliver cards with a lot of visual impact. So if you're going to mobilize, I say go ahead and make the most of your time. On this last set, I had 4 left over, so I'm going to do 4 at one time. And I love the way the pink behaves with the water, depending on how much water is on each piece. I could just honestly do this every day. It's very fun and relaxing. Now you'll notice that I'm using the lids of my ink pads to do this with. And I want you to see that once you clean off, and I do clean them off because I do some mixing of the inks with the brush, and I don't want that to get on my ink pad. But you can also use the rag that you clean your ink pad lids with to create one more fun background. So I just have a spare piece over here that got a little bit of ink on it. And I'm going to spray that. And if you just press the rag into it, you'll get some fun patterns and it'll transfer some of that ink for you. So even while you're cleaning up, you can have a little bit of fun and have a scrap that you're going to use later. Now, I dried these very, very thoroughly. This is an extremely important step. I used my heat gun to start the process, and then I let them dry naturally. If you do not do this, watercolor paper is so good at retaining moisture that you'll stamp an image and you'll come back to it a couple minutes later and you'll find that it has feathered out. And that's not something you want. You want a nice, crisp greeting on top of this beautiful background that you've spent this time creating. And so a totally dry piece of paper is essential. So I would recommend that you really heat gun it and then walk away for a while. Now I'm using my Misty because I'm using watercolor paper, and you'll see that I'm inking each stamp twice to stamp it onto my paper, just to make sure I get a nice crisp black and don't have any voids. Again, the Misty is another tool that can make making a bunch of cards go a lot faster. And that's why the second part only took 12 minutes. Then I spent about 5 or 10 minutes gluing the cards together, putting them on a card base, and adding a little strip of the Neutrals Patterns Pack Designer Series paper. And my project was done for the day, and I'm sending a bunch of cards out to my online class customers in very little time. I can definitely recommend skipping laundry or doing the dishes to find the 20 minutes to make a beautiful set of cards. So I hope you'll join me and make and mail some cards today. Thanks so much for watching.